before we get started, I want to say welcome back to The Wandering Gamer and a happy October to everybody. This is my favorite month because of Halloween. Oh, I love Halloween. All right, so just want to say that before we get started. All right, let's go.
The Wandering Gamer.
Alright everybody, welcome back to the Wandering Gamer Podcast, your source for gaming technology and culture from all around the world. Alright, so today it's just me. I know, sad, no pretty girl with me today. Maybe she'll be back soon. Still got some scheduling conflicts, and right now it is a holiday in China. It's their national day, so like if you're in America, it'd be like the 4th of July. Everyone has off for 3, 4, 5 days, got about a week off. And right before this was another holiday, their Mid-Autumn Festival. Yeah, the Mid-Autumn Festival. Even though it takes place in the beginning of autumn, according to the Chinese lunar calendar, it's the Mid-Autumn Festival. Pretty cool. I don't got too many days off of work, so yeah, too bad for me. But most people do. Everyone enjoys it here. And before that, lots of holidays coming up. Well, that just passed. There was first the Anti-Japanese Day, or commemorative to remember World War II, and when they kicked Japan out of China. Then the Mid-Autumn Festival happened a couple days ago, I believe on the 27th of September. And now October 1st is always National Day, the day it became the PRC, People's Republic of China or something. I don't know. I'm not too great on that stuff. But everyone has off, so no one's around. Everyone travels back home, so it's just me. You guys are stuck with me today. Sorry. Now, we're going to have fun. So today we're going to talk about some weird Chinese news. Going to be my favorite part. We're going to talk about some football, of course, some games, and then I got another scary story for you guys today. All right, so let's get right into it. Let's talk about football. All right, so my Bills, they're doing all right. You know, they won their first game. They lost their second game against New England. Tom Brady's cheating ass. He's still in there. If Tom Brady wasn't there, we might have won. I mean, we did bad the first half, or we did all right. The first drive we did pretty good. And then, I don't know what happened. We started sucking. And then at the end, we started to come back. They were looking pretty good. Tyrod Taylor, he's doing his thing. Rex Ryan, he's doing his thing, And then we just played the Dolphins, and we kicked their asses. Oh, my God, we kicked their butts. Woo, that was 41-14. Ooh, that looked bad. Oh, that looked real bad. Well, I mean, good for us, but bad for the Dolphins. And it was their home opener. Oh, I love when the Bills go into a home opener against another team and just decimate them. So that was real nice to see. I was happy about that. Good job, Bills. Coming up tomorrow for me, or in 2 days for me, it's Saturday here right now when I'm recording this. And so Monday morning for me here in China, they're going to play the Giants, which I'm pretty excited about. See how they do with that. Hopefully they do pretty good. All right, so let's talk some fantasy. I messed up again. Remember I told you about I had Le'Veon Bell in there, even though he was suspended, so I got 0 points for that. So last week, I'm chilling on the couch. It's late. I'm getting a little sleepy. I get an update on my phone that says one of my running backs is out. And it didn't say my running back. It just said a running back is out for the game. And I was like, I don't think I have him on my team. I got nothing to worry about. Lo and behold, he was on my team. So then I had another 0 spots for that. So I lost my fantasy game last week. It was pretty bad. It was actually a little bit close, but still. It was, I believe, DeMarco Murray who was out on Philadelphia, the running back there. And so I got the text, it says, DeMarco Murray's out. I was like, okay, I don't got him. Whatever. Let me take a nap before the game, because it was a 4 p.m. game, so that's 4 a.m. for me. Try to take a little nap before. And then I wake up. I'm like, oh, shit, I do have him on my team. So I got no points for that. Anyways, this week, hopefully everyone's going to play. I had Le'Veon Bell, and I forgot to put him in. He was available last week, and I forgot to put him in. So, too bad for me. Anyways, I got him in. He played Thursday night football. So yesterday morning for me. And he got me like 24 points. How many points did he get me? Does it say? Let me see. Let me check. He got me 21 points. Nice. And then I had Baltimore also. I had their kicker, Justin Tucker. He got me another 13 points. Right now I'm at 34 points for the game versus whoever the other guy is. He got 0 points right now. Not bad. 34-0 going into it. Still two of my players are out, so let's see how that goes. Hopefully I'll win. Who else do I have? I got Russell Wilson for the quarterback. I have who's the other quarterback I have? The Baltimore quarterback. Flacco, I have him, but I put him on the bench. I'm happy too. He only got like 7 points. Let me see how many points he got. 7.5 points, 7.56 points. So I'm happy he's on my bench. So I got Russell Wilson starting. I got DeMarco Murray for Philly. He's questionable, so I gotta remember to change him if he's not going to play. I got Melvin Gordon with San Diego going against Cleveland. Which is nice because so far Cleveland, they give up the third most fantasy points to running back, so I hope I get some ground there. I got Kansas City wide receiver. I got another wide receiver who's probable for the game, Cooks with New Orleans. I got Greg Olsen, tight end in North Carolina or Carolina. Le'Veon Bell, like I said. And for my defense, I got my Bills still. Oh, they did good last week. Oh, man. Oh, they got like three interceptions. Oh, man, that was good. That was a good game to watch. So late, though. So for me, when I watch those late games, by the time they finish, the sun is up. Then it's hard to go to sleep, and I got to, get ready for the day. And I think next week, too, or tomorrow or the next day, I have a game that starts at 1 a.m. Then it ends around 4. By the time I get to sleep, I got work at like 9 a.m. though, so I'm only gonna have like 2-3 hours of sleep and then go right into work, and it's gonna be a pain. But whatever, still gotta support your bills wherever you are. It's worth it. And so that's where I'm at on my fantasy right now. Did I say everyone else? Yeah. Kicker already done. He got me 13 points. The Bills better do good. They're gonna against the Giants though, and so far the Giants gave up the 7th fewest fantasy points to defenses, but I think the Bills could go in there and wreck it. They better go in there and wreck it because it's my Bills. So hopefully they do good. New England, they're 3-0. F them, for real, F them, cheating asses. But whatever, I can't hate too much. Russell Wilson, you need to get some more points, man. I want to see 30 points from you. Ooh, I want to see 30 points from you. And last week, I was saying, I'm going to talk more about, who won the Bills. They let go of one of our players. And I don't think I ever got to it. They let go of Fred Jackson. And he's back in, not back in, but he's with Seattle now with his old teammate, Marshawn Lynch, who Buffalo also got rid of. And then he goes and wins a Super Bowl, right? And then almost won a Super Bowl. So, I don't know what's going on there. Like, Buffalo's getting rid of all the good players. But Fred Jackson, he was like a staple in the community. Everybody loved him. He was a good guy. He was a captain. He's on the team for like 10, 12 years or something. I mean, I understand they want new players. He's the oldest running back in the league, but he has, lots of experience. He could teach the newer guys. They should have just kept him. And apparently the rumors are, the GM, Doug Whalen, he let him go. And he didn't tell the new owners, the Pagulas. And apparently they're mad. But, on TV, they got to say, we support every decision. We're all a team. There's no fighting in the organization. But I think that's the last year for our GM, getting rid of Fred Jackson. Come on now. I mean, he's not he's a great running back. He's a workhorse. He's not the best. He's not the youngest. But he's still valuable. And that's why Seattle picked him up real quick. Even New England was going after him, but he said in an interview, New England, their roster turns around so fast. Like, he wants a little bit more job security. And Seattle came out straight up. They said, you know what, you're going to be our number 2 behind Marshawn Lynch, which is weird because Marshawn Lynch used to be number 2 behind Fred Jackson in Buffalo. But whatever, and he's like, you know what, they were straight up with me. They were straightforward with me, so I went with them. Apparently, Doug Whalen and Fred Jackson had some drama getting out of there. I would too. They shouldn't have done that. But whatever, what's done is done. It's a business. You can't, cry too much. But yeah, let's keep moving on with that. So Bills, do your thing. All right, let's get some more wins from me. So the Bills right now are 2-1. My fantasy team is 1-2. Ugh, man, last year I was like almost undefeated. I had like 1 or 2 losses last year in my fantasy. Now I got 2, and it's only week 3, coming up to week 4. Oh, but the person I'm playing against, he's 0-3. So hopefully he stays, with that record. Oh, I hope I do good. Wish me luck. And I keep hearing these ads for FanDuel. It's like a one week 1 week fantasy. Not a sponsor, by the way. I might try that out, but it costs money. That's one of the things. I mean, I do like a prize league where you put on a little bit of money, but this is this 1 week thing. I don't know how it works. If they have a free one I could try out for 1 week, then maybe I might put in some money, try to win some money. I might try that out. But they got so many ads everywhere. Their marketing department's on fire. I mean, they got deals with the league on FX. I mean, that's a great show, by the way. Bunch of places I keep hearing about them, so I might check that out. And if anyone wants to start a new league with me on there, feel free. Email me at fanmail@thewanderinggamer.com, and we can set up a league. I'll kick your butt in it. No worries. I'm non-discriminatory against who I beat in fantasy football, whether you're from China, Japan, America, North Korea. I don't care. I'll whoop your butt. All right. So let's keep going. All right. So now one of the things I want to talk about is China. China is a weird place, and this is one of the reasons the pretty girl's not with us today. I told her about what I want to do, and she gets a little mad. She's like, I don't want you talking too much, too negative about China. I'm like, well, this is just news, public news. He's like, well, people might think bad about China. I'm like, well, it's an opinion show, so either get on board or get off. And she's like, well, I'm gonna be out of town, so you're on your own with this one. So, I mean, I understand she doesn't want, an opinion of China out there that looks too bad, but I'm just going to tell you what's going on in China. Like, I mean, shit goes on in America. I got no problem. Everyone gets shot in America. There was just a shooting the other day, and I got no problems with that. It's America. It's almost expected in America. But anyways, let's get into some weird Chinese news. First, driving in China. As you probably know, stereotypes about, no offense, but there's stereotypes out there about Asian drivers not being the best drivers out there. In China, oh my God, driving is so bad out here. I have a license. I drive sometimes out here, and it is bad. I mostly drive like a moped because, it's faster, it's easier to park, it's cheaper, and it's electric, so I don't have to buy gas, which is good for the environment. And I've been hit twice by a car on my moped. First time a car, there's a bike lane the mopeds are supposed to go in. And sometimes cars want to skip other cars, so they drive into the bike lane. And that's what a guy did. He didn't look, and he just turned right to skip another car going through the bike lane and just ran right into me. Messed up. And what the police do, they show up, right? Luckily, they're 911, which is 110. They have, an English-speaking department, say, I don't speak Chinese, 我不会说中文, 我会说英文. They say, okay, hang on, and they get you to the English-speaking people, which is nice. So another thing, that, China's very accommodating to foreigners. Very, very much. Like, if you're a foreigner, you make more money in China. People think you're, awesome in China. Random people come up to take pictures with you, which is so cool. In America, if you're a foreigner, especially if you're Mexican or something, people hate you. People get out of our country. Try to build a wall against there. That's messed up. That's for another episode, I guess. I don't want to get too much into that. I just want to tell my stories. All right, so I get hit by the car. I call 110. Police come out, and they're like, okay, the guy that hit you, he's going to take you to the hospital. I'm like, what? It was like, yeah, he'll drive you in the car he hit you with to take you to the hospital. And that's weird to me. If a guy, hit me from driving like a asshole, now I got to spend the rest of the day with him in the hospital. But the reason why they do that is because they make him pay for everything. So you get to the hospital, he has to pay for all the stuff, the x-rays, the medicine, which is pretty cool. Nothing comes out of not a dime, even comes out of my pocket. I don't even get reimbursed. It's just, he pays for everything. He can't leave. He pays for everything. Then we have to go back to the police station together, which is, it was weird, but, and the guy, he's trying to be friends with me. And first, I'm super mad. I'm angry. This guy hit me driving like an idiot. And so I'm angry. But I got to spend another 5 hours with him because there's like 1 billion people in China. And it's crowded, especially in the hospitals. It's crowded. So you got to wait a while to see people. And so finally, end of the day comes around and finally we're saying goodbye and everything. And he thinks he's my friend now. And I'm like, nah, man. Like, I just can't be mad at you sitting next to you all day. So I'm just not yelling at you. We ain't friends, though. And so that was the first time I got hit by a car. Second time happened a couple weeks ago. I'm going down a road. And the same thing where, someone wants to skip the other cars. But it's the opposite way this time. Instead of going to the right... And in China, they drive on the same side of the road. So instead of going to the right to skip through their bike lane, they go on the opposite side of the road to go against traffic. So they start going down the wrong side of the road. A car starts coming through the other side of the road. So instead of getting back into his road because there's lots of cars in the way, he goes into the bike lane going the opposite direction and head-on collision with me. And I broke his windshield. And he tried to go away, but this was right before that anti-Japanese day or whatever they want to call it. So there's police everywhere. And the police they stopped him from going away. And then, again, he has to take me to the hospital. And this time was a little bit different. I didn't really like this time so much because we get to the hospital. Lots of people, like before. But this time, like, for when they do the x-rays, like, they're like, oh, where does it hurt on you? I'm like, oh, my leg hurts, because I kind of try to get out the way, and he hit me from the side. So he hit my right side. That was the part that hurt the most. They're like, okay, we're going to do, like, every leg, every arm. They're just trying to make extra money for themselves. If we do more x-rays, they got to pay per x-ray. And the young girl who was doing the x-rays, like the x-ray technician, she must have been new because she messed them all up. And they had to take like 12 x-rays. And I'm like, at a point, I'm like, oh, no more x-rays because I don't want that much radiation. So many x-rays on me. And I'm like, oh my God, like let's cut. Like, that's too many x-rays, too much radiation. And I was talking to my doctor friends. They're like, yeah, that's your yearly quota right there in one hospital visit. And they only needed like 2 just to say. I mean, I could have told them I had no broken bones, but they got to go. The police, need the x-rays. And then, then the police made him give me money, which was nice. He gives me some, a few kwai, a few bucks. And it's like, all right, it's done. Not too bad. I wasn't too hurt, just a little bit bloody, a few scrapes, scars, bruises. I still got a mark on my shoulder from it. But, could have been worse. So the story I want to get to is, people in China drive crazy. Opposite side of the road. And when there's an accident or when there's a lot of traffic, people will always drive on the shoulder. Just like I said, how I got hit in the bike lane, which is pretty much the shoulder of the road. Twice. I got hit in a bike lane twice. I didn't go out of the bike lane. I wasn't in traffic. I was on the shoulder in the bike lane. People drive on there. And if you're on the highway, if traffic is bad, douchebag assholes will just try to drive the whole way on the shoulder. And so since this was the holiday, there's lots of people traveling. And someone was traveling to their hometown, and there was an accident. And so traffic was all backed up, just stopped. And so everyone starts trying to drive on the shoulder, and then there's another accident there. And now none of the emergency crews could get by. Because the shoulders where, the emergency people should be driving to get to the accident to, let traffic start moving again, that's blocked. And so they got to call on the other side, say, okay, come down this way. Then they got to cut a hole in the guardrail, take a saw, cut the guardrail, make a path for the new ambulance to get there. And that's ridiculous. And, I think people all over the world, even in America, I see people do this, like drive on the shoulder when there's traffic. Oh, I hate people that do that. But in America, people give you looks like, people will yell at you and people don't let you do stuff like that. You're like socially shunned if you do that. In China, like no one cares. People only like, oh, I'm not doing this. So I don't care about them. They're an asshole or whatever. I'm not going to shun them. In America, we shun them. If someone litters, we're like, you asshole, go pick that up. No littering. In China's very clean. the roads, especially Chengdu, because there's people that go up and down the roads all day and they clean the roads. They pick up all the litter. But I think that just encourages more people to litter. You know, if people are picking up your litter, you're just going to say, oh, I'll just litter. Someone's job is to pick it up. In America, it's not like that. If you litter, you know, you get fined. If the cops see you throwing stuff out your car, you get a littering fine. I think that should be the same way in China. And so that's just a little, you know, the first story is that, you know, there's bad drivers in China. There's bad drivers everywhere. But it's so bad sometimes that, you know, like emergency people can't even get to where they're going. But that's not, you know, really the stories I want to get into. I got some funny stories for you guys about China. So the first one, all right, let me just read the headline, okay? Subway station swarmed with bees after man kicks open beehive. That's the heading, and it pretty much explains it all. So a man in Hangzhou was going into a subway station when the guard stopped him. They're like, okay, you have like a honeybee hive. You can't come in here with that. And the guy's arguing with them like, no, it's secure. The bees can't escape. And the guards are like, no, you can't come in here with it. And to prove how secure it was, the guy who brought the honeybees kicks it. Say, look, watch, I'm going to kick it just to prove nothing's going to happen. He kicks it. It breaks open, and bees start swarming everywhere in the subway station. Oh, man, that's deep. So let me read it for you. Around 1 p.m., a beehive containing over 100 bees was kicked open within Hangzhou's Jiangling Station subway stop bee terminal. 2 security officers, 2 station personnel, and 1 passenger suffered bee stings, though none of the injuries were serious. A man carrying a microwave oven box was stopped by staff at the subway's safety checkpoint. The staff unexpectedly discovered that the box was full of bees and immediately detained the man, informing him that he was unable to enter the subway. Undeterred, the man began to explain to the subway staff that he was carrying the bees in order to do a business transaction, and that before he set off, he'd secured the box of bees. He argued that there would be no problem. The subway staff were unable to persuade the man and called the subway security. Soon after, Jingli Station officer Shu arrived on the scene. He said the box was firmly secured and the bees would be no problem. To make his point, he said, "It's secure. If you don't trust me, I'll kick it and you'll see." At the moment, he kicked the box of bees with his foot. So he told the security officer, watch, it's secure. Boom, he kicks it. He says, see, nothing's going to happen. The box of bees, the box of bees that was allegedly firmly secured fell down and over 100 bees flew into the air. Observing the scene, police of the station personnel quickly organized passengers to scatter and began killing the bees. Being attracted to light, many of the bees came to rest on the electric mosquito swatters, pesticides, and protective mosquitoes net, etc., to kill the bees. After an hour, the bees had been surrounded and exterminated. By 3 p.m., the station had finally been cleared of bees and normal operation resumed. So that's crazy. Like, this guy, like, they're like, no, you can't come in here with, like, watch now. Nah, I'm good. Just trust me, man. It's like, no, you can't come in here. Watch. Boom. Kicks it. Bees fly everywhere. That's what he gets, man. Like, I wonder what happened to him. It doesn't say if he was, like, arrested or anything. I don't know. Let me see. He agreed to compensate the injured. Now says that he agreed to compensate the injured. Doesn't mean he was arrested or anything. It's just that he had to pay like the hospital bills or something, which is pretty common in China. Like, they don't like to arrest people. If you like hit someone, you just have to pay their hospital bills. There was a story where this grandpa was with his grandson, and someone tried to steal the son. They kidnapped his son. He, ran after the person and beat up the kidnapper so bad he killed him. And then he had to pay the kidnapper's family for killing the kidnapper. Everyone online was outraged. Like, he was, defending his grandson's life. And they're like, well, everybody has a right to life no matter what you are, a criminal or whatever. And you took away that right. So you got to compensate his family for the loss. which I think is weird. If I was the police, I'd be like, good job. Killed the kid. He's a child kidnapper. I mean, come on. He should have been dead. Good for that grandpa. I wouldn't have paid them shit. I'd be like, all right, no, I'm going back to America. Fuck y'all. All right, so the next story. Let's see, let's find a good story. All right, so no, I don't want that one. Here we go. All right, so this one's actually pretty funny. The headline: Woman exposes smelly feet on train, fights unhappy passengers. So just like it sounds, this woman going from Beijing to Chongqing, which is not far from Chengdu where I live, was on a train, took off her shoes, and like stunk up the whole compartment. People asked her put her shoes back on, and she refused. People started getting real mad, calling her, like saying like, "Yo, woman, your feet stink. Put on your shoes." And she got offended. She just got up and started fighting people. This old lady started fighting people because they called her smelly. And the police came, boarded the train, detained the woman. And then the woman, the smelly feet woman, had to pay money to everyone she hit. She had to compensate the people. Let me read it through right quick. A woman took off her shoes and exposed her smelly feet on a train from Beijing to Chongqing. Ended up in a fight with a disgruntled passenger. When Miss Zheng noticed the unpleasant odor coming from Miss Liu, who was sitting directly opposite her, she requested her to put on the shoes, but she was ignored. After Zhang blocked her nose with tissue, Liu took offense and retaliated with abuse. Railing Zheng with them, flung her towards a pillow. The ensuing fight was broken up by a train marshal, and Liu compensated Zhang 1,500 RMB for the fight for her injuries. So the girl, all she did was like put a tissue in her nose, and the girl took offense and just started like wailing on her, and she had to pay her 1,500 RMB, renminbi. What is that in English dollars, American dollars? I don't know. Let's see. It's about 6.3 to 1. All right, let me get a converter out real quick. So 1,500 RMB. I know 1,200 is about $200. That's 236 US dollars. It's a decent amount just for getting hit. I mean, it's an old woman. She couldn't hit too hard. But damn, I mean, your feet stink so bad that you gotta get into fights over it. Ooh, that's messed up. Now this next story, I like because it shows like the polarity between American cops and Chinese cops. All right, so the headline: Cop draws gun on abusive woman who refuses to move vehicle. All right, so this article is a little long. I'm going to sum it up. So during the holiday, this woman, she parked right in front of the door of a police station because she couldn't find any other parking spots, which is, like right on the steps. Can't park there. Totally illegal. The police, she did it at a police station. So the police came out and said, "You got to move your car." She said no and started to walk away. The police got in front of her and said, "Move your car." And she said, "No, make me." And she started to fight. She started to like hit the officer, like punch a freaking police officer. The police officer pulls out his guns and like, says, "Get off me, get on the ground," and, it's caught on tape. And the police officer was fired for this. They said he used excessive force. Like, he didn't shoot the lady. He didn't beat the lady. He didn't touch the lady. All he did was pull out his gun and said, "Get off me." And now he's fired for that. I read that and I was like, oh my God, if that happened in America, are you kidding me? You hit an officer? Oh my God, you'd be shot so fast. Oh my God, people get shot for nothing by police in America. Oh my God. He was fired. He was protecting himself. Oh my God. I see people get shot in America for unarmed. They don't touch the police. They run away and get shot in the back by police in America, and nothing happens to the police. Here, a police pulls a gun when a woman's attacking him and gets fired. Wow. That's deep. America, y'all, you should take note. Police in America, y'all a little rough. Y'all crazy. You get too much power. Here, you pull a gun out on a woman who's beating your ass, you get fired. Oh my God. Oh, at least he didn't get arrested. But, I mean, That's deep. As an American, that's deep. And that happened September 23rd, so not too long ago. All right, let me see. I think I got like one more story. All right, so next story. Man makes mom sit in trunk of car to give son room to sleep. So in China, before you could only have one kid. So they had what called the little emperor syndrome, where every kid thought he was like the center of the world because the whole family, they're only allowed to have one kid. They treat him so nice. Grandparents only have one grandkid. They shower him with so much love and attention. It's ridiculous. He gets whatever he wants. So this couple's driving. I don't know where they're driving to, but the police stopped this car, just like, a regular traffic check. And they find a 60-year-old grandmother in the trunk. And they ask, why is she in the trunk? And the dad's like, well, my son wanted to sleep, so I made my mother, his grandmother, get in the trunk of the car so he could lay down in the back seat. And the grandmother was like, oh, no, don't get my son in trouble. No, it's comfortable back there. I don't mind being back there. And I think that's deep too. Like, you make your own mother sit in the trunk of your car. It was an SUV, so, it's not like, it's not a sedan. You're not stuffed in a trunk, but still, the no seat belts. It's very unsafe, just so your son could sleep on all the seats in the back row. Oh, man, if my son, if I had a son, if he's like, oh, yo, go put your mom in the trunk so I will whoop his butt. Oh, my God, I slap him right across the face. Now, I'm not for child abuse, but sometimes kids need to, spare the rod, spoil the child, know what I mean? All right, so that's the stories I want to cover right now. There's a few more I got on here, but I want to get to some other stuff. I want to talk about some video games. So, like I said before, I was playing that new Metal Gear, and I want to do like a little mini review because I didn't get too far into it yet. But man, that game is incredible. It's definitely a game of the year contender. Now, I do got some problems with it. It gets a little repetitive. Very, like, you got to go, especially the side missions. It's extract a prisoner, extract an interpreter, extract another interpreter. There was one that said the side up mission was extract a legendary gunsmith. You go extract him, you get a new side up. Name of the new side up: extract a legendary gunsmith again. And it was you only got the guy's apprentice. You didn't get the real guy. So it gets very repetitive. But besides that, it is such a fun game. Anyone who knows Kojima's work, it will know. Like, there's funny things in there. Like, it's a serious game, but he just makes it so funny, so fun to play. There's a controversy over one of the characters named Quiet, who like wears like a bikini the whole time. I got no problem with that. I mean, most people don't. They're like, oh, you're not respecting women. Like, it's a video game, right? If they made a real woman that out there naked the whole time, that might be a little different. But she's in a bikini, she's sexy, it works, right? You get your cardboard box. Anyone who's played Metal Gear knows the cardboard box. It is such a fun game. It gets a little repetitive on the side op missions, but the story missions are so fun. Oh my God, it's hard too, and there's no difficulty setting, which I like. When it's just the game is this game, there's no easy, medium, hard. You just got to go with the flow. It's good, but sometimes it might not get challenging. The way this one works is there's different like categories. Like if you keep shooting people in the head, the game will adapt and start giving the people head protection. If you only infiltrate a base at night, the guards will start using night vision goggles. If you start doing really well in a specific area, they get better in that area. The guards adapt. So the whole game doesn't get harder, but just the specific things that you're good at to challenge you. And they don't get ridiculously hard either. And there's what's called a chicken hat, which is literally like a hat that looks like a chicken. You wear that and it like resets the things. It makes it easier. And I think that's like I never seen a game like that. I think that's a wonderful way to design a difficulty setting for a game. It keeps it challenging. It keeps it fresh. It doesn't make every aspect too hard, just the things you're good at, the things that you suck at. Like if I suck at shooting people in the head, I can't get a headshot for anything. They're not going to make it harder to get a headshot. They might make it easier. I like that. So good job with that. The buddy system on there. So when you play Big Boss, Poisonous or Venom Snake, his name is. You go into a mission, you get to pick between different types of buddies. You can bring a horse, a dog, Quiet, which is a sniper, or the D-Walker, which is like a little mechanical walking robot that can shoot people, beat people up, which is pretty cool. So far, I think the most useful is like the horse and the dog. The horse, because you could get to places a lot faster, but then you could just steal a Jeep or something and drive there. The dog is real nice because the dog will go around and start barking out all the enemies, so you know where all the enemies are. Quiet, she's a sniper. She's good because she could go scout out an area, find the people for you. But if you don't tell her exactly what to do, sometimes she just like lays back and she's just not in where you at. But and each time you do more missions, you get like closer with your buddy. You can start giving them new weapons. And right now, my sniper, Quiet, she doesn't have any like suppressors on any of her sniper rifles. So if I get spotted by enemies, she'll shoot them in the head real quick. But then everyone's like, oh shit, there's a sniper somewhere. Let's look for the sniper. It puts the base on alert. So I need to keep playing with her so I could get her some goddamn suppressors, man. Because she's just giving away my spot all the time. But it's such a nice system that you could drop in new weapons. It's not like the old Metal Gears where every weapon you pick up you could equip. Just go through your menu, find it. No, you can only bring in like two primary, 2 secondary, and your equipment. That's all you get. If you want something else, you got to call it in through an air support, which makes it more realistic. Before you got every weapon. You got rocket launchers, submachine guns, assault rifles, and they're all in your pocket. Here you carry those things. And, they slow you down. So it's a lot more realistic. It's open world. The open worldness, though, there's nothing in between the bases. And so there's all this empty space where, you can find animals and stuff. One of the things you have to do is find new animals and you bring them back to your base and, like, start a zoo, pretty much. And if you get, all the animals in the game, you get special trophies or whatever, which, I'm a completionist. I like getting those things. But there's nothing really too interesting in between the bases. There's no real enemies except like wolves and bears that want to attack you, which is pretty cool though. And like one of the things you could do, is get like a bait trap and throw it on your enemy and watch the bears come and try to attack them. Sort of like Far Cry, which is pretty cool. And so I really enjoy the game. It's their first open world game, so that there's a few things they can improve on. But for a company's really first open world game on such a historic franchise like Metal Gear Solid, I say bravo. Good job. Good effing job. Taken King, I'm still playing. It's starting to get a little repetitive now. Xur is never bringing anything I want. It's so hard to... like the raids, the end game content, you got to play with people. And there's no matchmaking for it. So you got to find people online to play with. And people are like such douches. Like, oh, if you've never done it this many times, we're not going to put you in our group. Like, how do you expect anyone to get any experience if you don't let people in your team? When's the first time you played? Like, if you were treating me if other people treated you the way you're treating me now, you'd be right where I am too, where people won't let you play in their group because you never played the raids before. I don't like that. There should be like a easy mode where you just go in with a group. Matches you up like World of Warcraft. They'll match you up with a group. It'll be on easier mode and the rewards won't be as good. And then you could do the regular one where the rewards are a lot better, but you got to find your group. And then there'll be the hard mode where the rewards are a lot better. And you also got to find your group. So I think that needs a little bit of matchmaking in there, make it a little bit more fair, a little bit more accessible to all the people. One of my friends back in America, even he sent me a message on PlayStation like, yo, I want to play this game, but I got really no one to play with. Will I be able to play? I'll be like, well, up to a point, yeah. I have to play with people. Like Nightfalls and everything, you got to find people to play with. They won't match you up. So up to a point, you can play without knowing people, without actively looking for people. But then if you want to do the end game content, you gotta know people. You gotta look for people, and that could be a pain. But still Such a fun game. And I just got some downloadable content, some DLC for the Batman game, which I need to take a look at. I started it, but then I was like, oh man, I forgot how to use this game. It's been so long. I forgot where all my punches and kicks are. So I was like, all right, let me put this down and pick it back up when I have more time to really relearn it. So I want to get to that. So, that's what's going on with my video game front right now. And so before we close it out, I want to do another creepy story. Yeah, it's that time of the month. It's the Halloween season. So last week I got a lot of nice people saying nice reviews about, the story. They liked it. So I'm going to hit you guys up with another one. Now this one's pretty long. So I'm going to break it into either 2 or 3 parts, depending on when I get tired from reading. And this one is a pretty famous one. It's called Sonic.exe. EXE as like, a PC executable file. And so everyone knows Sonic the Hedgehog, right? I remember one of the first games, I really remember playing for like Sega Genesis was Sonic the Hedgehog. Yeah. And so, all right, so this one's about Sonic the Hedgehog. All right, so maybe in post, I'll put some scary music on top of it. We'll see. All right, let's go. I'm a total Sonic the Hedgehog fan, much like everyone else. I like the newer games, but I don't mind playing the classics. I don't think I ever played a glitchy or hacked game before, though I don't think I want to play any after the experience I had. It started on a nice summer afternoon. I was playing Sonic Unleashed. I like how you get to explore the towns in it, until I noticed, out of peripheral vision, that the mailman had arrived and put something in my mailbox. I paused my game to go see what I got in the mail. The only thing in the mailbox was a CD case for computers and a note. I took it inside. I looked at the note first and realized it was from my friend, Kyle. Let's just call him that. Who I hadn't heard from in 2 weeks. I know that because I recognized the handwriting. Though, what was weird is how it looked. It looked badly written and scratchy and somewhat difficult to read, as if Kyle was having a hard time writing it down and did it in a hurry. This is what he wrote. Tom, I can't take it anymore. I had to get rid of this thing somehow before it was too late, and I was hoping you'd do it for me. I can't do it. He's after me. And if you don't destroy the CD, he'll come after you too. He's too fast for me. Please, Tom, destroy this godforsaken disc before he comes after you too. It's too late for me. Destroy this disc, and you'll destroy him. But do it quickly, or otherwise he'll catch you. Don't even play the game. It's what he wants. Just destroy it. Please. Kyle. Well, this was certainly weird. Even though Kyle is my best friend, I haven't seen him in 2 weeks. I didn't do what he asked me. I didn't think that a simple gaming disc would do anything bad to him. After all that, just a game, right? Boy, I was wrong about that. Anyway, I looked at the disc, and it looked like any ordinary computer CDR disc, except it had black marker written on it, saying Sonic.exe, and it was much unlike Kyle's handwriting, meaning that he must have gotten it from somewhere else, like a pawn shop or eBay. When I saw Sonic on the writing of the disc, I was actually excited and wanted to play it, since I'm a big Sonic fan. I went up to my room and turned on my computer and put the disc in and installed the game. When the title screen popped up, I noticed it was the first Sonic game. I was like, awesome, because I said earlier I like playing the classics. The first thing I noticed that was out of place was when I pressed start. There's a split second when I saw the title image turn into something much different, something that I now consider horrifying before cutting to black. I remember what the image looked like in a split second before the game cut to black. The sky had darkened, the title emblem was rusted and ruined, the Sega 1991 was now instead Sega 666, and the water had turned red, like blood, except it looked hyper-realistic. But the freakiest thing that was in the split-second frame was Sonic. His eyes were pitch black and bleeding with 2 glowing red dots staring straight at me. His smile was stretched wider up to the edges of his face. I was rather disturbed about this image when I saw it, though I figured it was just a glitch and forgot about it. After it cut to black, it stayed there for about 10 seconds or so. And then another weird thing happened. The save file, Select Sonic Hedgehog 3 popped up, and I was like, WTF, what the fuck? What's this doing in the first Sonic game? Anyways, then I noticed something. The background was the dark cloudy sky on the bad Stardust Speedway level from Sonic CD. And there was only 3 save files. The music was that of the creepy caverns of winter music from Earthbound. Only it was extended and seemed to have been in reverse. And the image for the save file, where you see a preview of the level you're on, was just red static for all 3 files. What freaked me out the most was the character select. It showed only Tails, Knuckles, and to my surprise, Dr. Robotnik. Now I'm sure that something was up. I mean, how can you play Dr. Robotnik in a Sonic game, for crying out loud? That's when I realized that the game wasn't glitchy. It was a hacked game. Yeah, it definitely looked hacked. It was real creepy, but as a smart gamer, I wasn't scared, or at least I tried not to be. I told myself that it was just a hack game and there's nothing wrong with that. Anyway, shaking off the creeped out feeling, I picked file 1 and chose Tails when I selected and got started. The game froze for about 5 seconds, and I heard a creepy pixelated laugh. The screen stayed black for about 10 seconds or more. Then it showed a typical level title thing, except the simplistic shapes were different shades of red and the text only showed Hill, Act 1. The screen faded in and the level title vanished, revealing Tails in the Green Hill Zone from Sonic 1. The music was different though. It sounded like a peaceful melody in reverse. Anyways, I started playing and had Tails start running like you would in any other classic Sonic game. What was odd was that Tails was running along the level and there was nothing but flat ground and a few trees for 5 minutes. That was when the peaceful music started to lower down to slow, deep tones, very slowly as I kept going. Then suddenly I saw something and I stopped to see what it was. It was one of the small animals lying dead on the ground, bleeding. That's when the music started to slow down even more. Tails had a shocked and sudden look on his face that I never saw him have before. So I had him move along and kept that worried look on his face. As he kept moving, I saw more dead animals as Tails moved past them, looking more and more worried as the music continued. I was shocked to see that they were all dead. They looked like somebody killed them in a rather gruesome way. A squirrel was hanging on a tree with what appeared to be his entrails hanging out. A bunny had on 4 of his limbs torn off, and a duck had his eyes gorged out and his throat slit. I felt sick to my stomach when I saw this massacre, and apparently so did Tails. After a few more seconds, there was no more animals, and the music seemed to have stopped. I still kept Tails to continue. After a minute passed and the music stopped, Tails was running up a hill, and then he stopped. It wasn't until I saw why. Sonic was there on the other side of the screen, with his back against Tails, with his eyes closed. Tails looked happy to see Sonic, but then his smile flattened, obviously noticing that Sonic wasn't responding to him, if not acting as if he was totally obvious of Tails' presence. Tails walked slowly towards Sonic, and I noticed that it wasn't even moving my keyboard to make him move. So this had to be a cutscene, I thought. Suddenly, I began to have a growing feeling of dread as Tails walked closer to Sonic to get his attention. I felt that Tails was in danger and something bad was going to happen. I heard faint static growing louder as Tails was about a few inches away from Sonic and stopped and stuck his hands out to touch him. That foreboding feeling in my gut was growing stronger, and I felt a huge urge to tell Tails to get away from Sonic as the static grew louder and louder. Suddenly, in a split second, I saw Sonic eyes open, and they were black with those red glowing dots, just like in the title image, though there wasn't a smile. When that happened, the screen turned black and the static sound was off. It stayed black for about 7 seconds, and then white text appeared, forming a message saying, "Hello, do you want to play with me?" At this point, I was creeped out. I didn't want to continue with the game, but my curiosity got the better of me. I was taken to a different level, with the level title now saying, "Hide and Seek." This time I was in the Angel Island level from Sonic 3, and it looked like everything was on fire. Tails looked as though he was scared out of his wits at the time. He actually looked at me and made frantic gestures for me as if he wanted to get out of the area he was in as fast as possible. I started to get freaked out by this. Tails was actually breaking the fourth wall, trying to tell me to get him out of there. So I pressed down on the arrow keys as hard as I could and made him run as fast as he could. A pixelated version of that creepy theme when you meet Shadow at the Ark as Robotnik from SA2 was playing as I made Tails trek through the desolate forest, trying to help him escape from whatever he was trying to run from. Suddenly, I heard that creepy laugh again, that awful, awful laugh, right after 10 seconds have passed, as I helped Tails run through the forest. And then I started seeing flashes of Sonic popping everywhere on the screen, again with those black and red eyes. The music changed from that suspenseful drowning jingle as I see Sonic behind Tails slowly gaining on him, flying to him. Sonic wasn't running, he was actually flying. The flying pose his sprite was making looked very familiar from Metal Sonic's flying pose in Sonic CD, except it was just Sonic, and he had the black and red eyes again only. This time, he had the most deranged look grinning on his face. He looked as though he was enjoying the torment he was giving his poor little fox as he gained up on him. Suddenly, when Tails tripped, another cutscene, the music stopped and Sonic vanished. Tails laid there and started crying for about 15 seconds. The screen was rather upsetting to watch, and I kind of teared up myself. But then Sonic appeared right in front of Tails, and Tails looked up in horror. Blood started to come down from those blackened eyes of Sonic's as a grin slowly grew from his face, and he looked down at the horrified fox. I could do nothing but watch. In a split second, Sonic lunged at Tails right before the screen went black. There was a loud screeching noise that only lasted 5 seconds. The text returned. This time it said, "You're too slow. Wanna try again?" And that god-awful laugh came with it. I was so shocked by what happened. Did Sonic murder Tails? No, how could he? He and Tails were supposed to be best friends, right? Why did Sonic do this to him? I shook off the shock, and I was brought back to the character select. The save file that had Tails was different. Tails was no longer in the box itself, but in the TV screen itself, which was flickering with that of red static. Tails' expression scared me. His eyes were black and bleeding. His orange fur had gone black and had an expression of anguish on his face. Trying to ignore it, I picked Knuckles next. The laugh came again, and the screen cut to black. Again, and stayed there for another 10 seconds. This time, the level said, "You can't run." I was really freaked out by now. I couldn't really tell if this was a glitch or a hack or some kind of sick, twisted joke, or anything really. But despite my fear of what happened next, I kept playing. Alright, so I'm going to end it right there because it's pretty long. That's about half of it. So, next time I'm going to finish it up. I hope you enjoyed that little Sonic.exe creepypasta little creepy story for the Halloween season. All right, so thanks for joining us on the Wandering Gamer podcast. You know where to hit us up. Fan mail at thewanderinggamer.com, The Wandering Gamer on Twitter. We're all over the place, all right? Hit us up. Send us your comments. If you want me to do any specific creepy stories, hit me up. And one last thing, I got a little puzzle for y'all. A little scary puzzle for you guys, all right? So if anyone could guess the answer to this, I'm going to send you something, a little, I don't know, I'll send you something from China, all right? So this is a story, right? And it has like a question at the end almost. You gotta tell me how this happened. All right. So let me get started. There was a mansion, and there was a apparent suicide in the mansion. The butler called the police, and when the police arrived, he showed him to the body of the home's owner. Sitting at the desk, the police officer found the owner with a gun in his hand and a hole in his head. He shot himself, an apparent suicide. In his other hand was a tape player. He pressed play on the tape player and heard, "I can't take this anymore. My life is over. I'm going to kill myself now." Then a bang as the gun went off. He stopped the tape. Almost instantly, the police officer said, "This is not a suicide. This was a murder." How did he know it was a murder? That's the question you guys got to send in to me. That's the one you need to fill out. If you know the answer, send it to me. All right, I'm going to get out of here now. Have a great day.